Good evening and welcome to Mental Health Matters After Hours, because we know that you might need mental health support anytime, day or night. So do check out all of our other shows under Mental Health Matters After Hours if you want support in all areas related to mental health and well-being. Today's show is a very special show. We have Joe and Krish from Bedford Coffee Roasters joining us. Not only are they going to be talking to us about the perfect cup of coffee, but also the importance of sustainability by supporting your local high street. Let's head over to the main studio. Well, welcome, Krish and Joe from Bedford Coffee Roasters. It's great to have you here. You've got a really exciting company. Do you mind telling us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
So, we are coffee roasters. Roasting coffee beans is our specialty. So, yeah, we mostly are B2B focused business. So we usually do mostly cater to the businesses. And now we are trying to open it for the customers as well, because we have an exclusive quality and that shouldn't be just sold exclusively to the restaurants and business. So we felt like that should be African coffee is our specialty. So that we feel like that should be brought to the world, and everyone should enjoy the African coffee.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. And you're also encouraging the local community to buy local. So Joe, why is that so important to you?
I'm living in Bedford nearly for 20 years. People always ask me, where do you come from? I say I come from Cameroon. I say, what is the specialty of Cameroon? I say, no, I can bring good coffee from Cameroon. So that's the idea behind the Bedford Coffee Roaster.
Now, of course, we are a mental health show, and we always hear coffee's not good for us. It wants a stimulant. But I can't function without a cup of coffee.
No, same here. Same here.
But what are the well-being benefits of coffee and, of course, of Bedford Coffee Roasters, of your organisation?
Yes. See, when we say coffee is not good or bad, so it's not just coffee. Anything, when it's taken in its limits, is obviously good for you or bad for you if it's exceeded in the limits. Yeah. So coffee, my mother is a coffee consumer. Like, she loves her coffee. So she used to work all day, and after that she used to come home and she just brews that cup of coffee. We have a specialty of coffee called filter coffee in India. So I don't think if you've heard of it, but then it was really famous in India. So it's a South Indian specialty. And she used to take we have a device, it's sort of similar to French press. She takes that and she sort of brews her coffee, and she enjoys it with a bit of cream and milk, and she froths it, and and after that, so she is so calm. It just gives her the sense of, I did something today. And it can't be worth it without having this cup of coffee. She feels it that way.
It's mindfulness. It's beautiful, actually. That's really lovely.
Exactly. It sort of brings that wholesomeness. It sort of gives you that relaxation.
Absolutely, yeah.
In terms of coffee is the second drink after water. Can you guess how many cups of coffee they drink in this country per day?
Oh, my goodness.
97 million.
No, every day?
Yeah, every single day. Even someone at the deathbed, they ask you, what do you have to want to drink before you say, eat or something like that, I need coffee.
Wow,
so coffee is part of our life.
Yeah.
It's a backbone of the business of this country.
And as that's the case, having good coffee makes such a difference.
Yes.
Yeah, makes a difference.
Oh, I love that. Now, we use the word sustainability a lot, and that's because there's been a lot of changes to the business environment and so on. But of course, your work supports the sustainability of the local community as well as the communities in Africa as well. Can you tell me a little bit more about that, please?
So,
let me answer the question.
Yes.
When I travel to Cameroon, people all ask you, what can you give me? I say, no, I don't have a lot of money. What I can do is take your product, because in Cameroon, I organize as a cooperative. I got the coffee, I source the coffee from local community, uncle, brother, cousin, large Africa family. So I take the coffee, sell it here, and give them good money, value for their money, for their work. So because I come from there, I know their struggle. I can evaluate what can go back to their pocket.
That's beautiful.
I support local school.
Wow.
You see, because in Africa you can fund a kid from poor family, very, very clever, but you don't have resources to go to school, hospital. So that's why I'm like the ambassador.
Oh my God.
Yeah, be in the table.
So with every bag of coffee we're
Yeah,
drinking, we are helping
we are
that.
helping,
Exactly.
yeah.
So further emphasizing on what Joseph said. So if we look at the cultivation methods of coffee, where Joseph comes from, those are the farmers that refuse to use modern machinery. It's like a sin to them. Like, we don't want to use the modern machinery. So it's like these beans that they are using at the moment have been kept intact without using it for the higher yield. If you look at the top 10 coffee producing countries, so it's like African countries that come at like bottom 5 countries. So it's like it's really low. It's like they're not concerned about producing high amounts of yield, and they just keep their beans intact. And they've been using similar farming techniques since like ages, centuries ago. And that's the reason we believe like our coffee has that specific unique flavor that brings to the table.
Lovely.
Oh my God! Well, whilst on that,
Yes.
I know, sorry to interrupt.
No.
But you have poured us some coffee,
Yes.
and we want to try
Guys,
this.
try it.
I'm definitely not barista, but
The love that's
Yeah.
gone into this. Okay,
know.
well, cheers.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. That is so smooth.
So smooth, but also I love it rich. It's nice. You've just got that richness coming
so
through.
what
It's
you're
smooth
tasting is
and sweet.
Yes, there's no acidity.
yeah.
That's
What
lovely.
you are tasting is not a decaf, but a slightly light coffee. So it's like it's got some nutty notes, like floral and nutty notes. So it's like it's not really intense. It's roasted to perfection, and it's given you like that smooth taste. So when you source the beans, the flavor and everything, it actually depends on how you roast it, and that's our specialty.
That's delicious.
That is delicious.
Yeah, it
oh
really,
my
really
goodness.
Thank you very much.
And so it's low caffeine, not not decaffeinated, but
No, the caffeine content remains same.
Okay.
It actually depends on the beans. So the one you are tasting has less caffeine in it.
oh, okay. So
That's
it's
brilliant.
somewhere between normal
Yeah,
and
normal
decaf.
to
medium.
Yeah.
decaf. Yeah.
It means I can have one in the
You
middle
can have
of the
more
day,
than-
more.
So if you like to enjoy your coffee, I would say you don't have to go for decaf. You can actually use something like Igachafe, which is like Ethiopian coffee, and it's like really subtle and really light in flavor. That's for people who don't really love intense coffee and just drink for the pleasure of it,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I like the flavour.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what I don't like is the acidity of your high street chain coffees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's like instant coffee is not
No.
a coffee for us. So it's like if you say instant coffee, we give you like a bit of condescending look.
And so you should.
Yeah, yeah. So it's sort of instant coffee. See, let's just say when we look at these instant coffees, the producers who provide in like large amounts. So do you know that there is the government itself has given the wastage amount, like in the instant coffee that's brewed, that's ground. They can't control the amount of pests and roaches that get into that.
Right.
So it's like they can't completely ignore that, and they've given it a percentage, like that can be kept as a minimum.
Yeah.
But they don't test it every day, so we don't know what we are drinking.
Yes.
So
yes.
we sort of,
Wow.
that's why
Gosh.
we recommend, not just
That's
from
scary.
us, source it from your local coffee developers so that you can have that. We roast in small batches, so there is like nearly 0% contamination.
You follow the chain.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's really incredible. Wow,
Yeah.
gosh.
And so we were talking about sustainability.
Yeah.
How would you say that we can keep kind of the general high street sustainable?
So when I say sustainability and it's in the high streets, if you, I prefer to take it from the point of economical view.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's just say when there's like,
It's okay.
when we say this economical point of view, so what's happening currently is like most of the people are going to like some big franchises, which companies, and it's like all the wealth that we accumulate here is being taken somewhere else. So it's like It's like it's not staying in the UK. It's going to somewhere else. It's not just that, like, you know, we save so much on, like, you know, transportation, which reduces the carbon footprint and keeps the wealth in the community.
Also, what I really love about the way you're keeping this within the community, even though when we buy, we do support the farmers, they are still producing back for us. You know, it's because of your chain and because of your logistics. I think that's really important. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of related to that, obviously you buy from Cameroon.
Yeah, Cameroon, Ethiopia, and Brazil.
Brazil as well, so South America.
Espirito Santos, yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. And do you ever buy local to here? And if not, why not? Is it just because those places have the best coffee?
You know, I'm going to put it like this. There's something economic called traceability. When you go to, let's say, to Tesco to buy your lamp, you got the lamp, they say the lamp comes from Australia. You can have even the date that they kill the lamp, how you see. So we make sure that the coffee you got at your table, where it comes from.
Yes.
It's soft from. We are not like Starbucks or Costa. They bulk coffee in bulk everywhere.
Yeah.
They are just to make
probably where the cheapest, you know, where they can get it at the time.
Yeah. So we know where you are being come from.
And your quality.
And the quality.
Is looked after.
Exactly. Organic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're going to have a short break whilst Judith and I enjoy our coffee, and we'll be back shortly after this. A world without the arts is one without confidence, creativity and community, and yet funding has been reduced every year. Arts programmes have been shown to benefit social inclusion and well-being, particularly for marginalised groups, with projects fostering a sense of belonging, cultivating mutual understanding and breaking down social barriers and isolation. Participation in arts programmes can help boost confidence and open doors to opportunities that may otherwise be inaccessible. Click Arts Foundation offers grants up to £2,000 for grassroots arts projects twice a year, with our community arts experience trustees meticulously scoring each project on impact and sustainability. To date, we have supported craft and visual arts projects, dance, drumming for well-being, and preservation of heritage and culture. If you share our passion, not just for maintaining the arts themselves, but contributing to the many benefits it can bring, please consider making a donation to Click Arts Foundation registered charity. Welcome back to Mental Health Matters After Hours. We have got Krish and Joe here from Bedford Coffee Roasters. We have been enjoying the most amazing coffee. This is the Blue Mountain blend that's on the back there. And what's really important, we were saying in the break, Jude and I know our coffee because we drink coffee every day. Yeah. We drink it from different places as well, all of the chains, our own instant stuff as well. Yeah. This is beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
This is, you can
not
tell
just saying
it. No, you can tell the difference. It's so smooth. We both want to buy some now. So for the casual coffee drinker, I think I'm probably more than I think I'm an addict. But I generally ask for coffee.
Yeah.
You know, full stop, because I get a bit confused. Yeah. I don't know what to ask for. Yeah. What should I be looking for if I have the opportunity when it comes to coffee?
You talk in terms of brand,
blends and sort of flavours and things.
You can go for Bermuda milk. This is medium roast. You can go for Bermuda milk. This is light roast. What the Italian call cafe latte. What in France they call cafe au lait.
Yes.
You can go for Ethiopia. Yiga chef. That is Arabica. Medium roast. We got Arabica, Robusta, dark or strong roast.
And what's this one? So this is the Blue Mountain. What type of roast is this?
That is dark roast.
And do you know,
strong.
I'd be scared of that because I would think immediately, a dark roast, that's too strong for me. It's going to be too bitter. This is so smooth.
Again, when we sort of come to dark roast or like mild roast, so it all depends on the type of bean. So basically in the world there are like 4 types of coffee beans. So it is, let's just say, first one is like Arabica, which is like, it has like acidity and the medium amounts, and it's not so robust. So it's like, and then comes the Robusta. As its name suggests, it's like really robust. Like if you need a caffeine punch, if you need that kick I would suggest like go for Robusta and definitely dark roasted coffee. Roasting is more of like for your flavor palette. It's not just the caffeine intensity. Caffeine intensity depends on your coffee bean. But then some people go for blends, so we don't do blended coffee.
Right.
We only do single origin coffee. So it's like when we get something from some farmers, we source from exclusive farms. Like as I suggested, like we source from the very specific farms that use like trivial and traditional methods.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
And I think that's really interesting because off the tangent a little bit, but I know with whiskey blends, for example, the exclusive ones are much better.
Yeah, I would
than the
definitely
mixes.
suggest like if you need to understand coffee, either go for like wine or like whiskey. If you know the like notes
Same
and
principle.
flavors, it says exactly same. So it's like you got that flavor notes, similar palette as well.
Which kind of brings me to the next question. So with beans, do they work with certain, as in milk blends? So a lot of people have soya milk now, and coconut milk, and oat milk.
Oat milk.
Yeah. Are there some which work better with dairy milk, or are there some that work better with oat and soya and so on?
Yeah. To be honest, like everything melts with whole milk.
Yeah, true. Cream.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then if you're actually going for something like creamy and velvety texture, I would say you take a mild roasted coffee, especially from Robusta coffee beans, and then go for that creamy oat milk or soy milk. So it's like, but then if you're again looking for, not soy milk, I was mistaken there, oat milk or coconut milk.
Yes.
They're the nice
those are like
creamier.
rich and creamy.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
if you prefer that, like caffeine punch as I suggested, so go for like less creamy and less intense, like soy milk.
Yeah.
So it's like it's almost like water, to be honest.
That's
Soy
brilliant.
milk is not so rich, and you can actually have some like heavy high roasted coffee beans again in Robusta. But then if you're a pleasant drinker like my mother, so it's like she loves her coffee pleasant and sweet. So it's like if you like that kind of thing, I would say go for Ethiopian Irgashafe coffee. So that is one of the finest and sweetest nutty flavor coffee we've got. But then and then if you, as pairing suggested, I would definitely recommend whole milk with added cream.
Added cream and
I
milk.
know, it's naughty.
and it's like guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
It's like this is add some 2 spoons of sugar, making it perfectly sweet.
Oh, all sounds amazing.
Yeah, I would like to add something.
Yeah.
For some medical reason, there are some people who are allergic in normal milk, the one you got, so you have to go for soya bean. You see, that is the reason.
Yeah. So
that's
it's nice to know.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, sometimes I think, just depending on the pairing of the milk,
Yeah.
you can go, I don't like this coffee, and it's not the coffee at all.
Yeah.
It's the blend of
Yeah,
it.
Exactly.
It's
It's
a really
similar
good
to
point.
wine again.
Yeah.
So if you pair the wine with wrong kind of steak,
Yes.
it
Yes.
ends up bad.
Yes.
Like, you need to know your steak or risotto,
Yeah.
whatever you pair your wine with. And it's similar principle in the coffee as well.
I had never thought about the milk
Love
aspect,
that.
but you're absolutely
Love
right. Yeah, definitely. So I think we already know where you think the best coffee does come from, and clearly it does. Why are those areas good at producing a good flavoured coffee bean then?
So
Let me answer the
Yes.
question. Yeah, I grew up in Cameroon, in the rural area. So I know how you can put a stick on the floor. So when I grew up, I know the Cameroon coffee. So when I want to drink coffee here, I already know what is coffee. And Ethiopia, I have been there. I met the farmer in Espírito Santo. I went there. I met the farmer. I looked the similarity about the temperature is similar. So for now, I'm holding with Cameroon coffee, Ethiopia, and Brazil.
Okay.
People want me to come to Colombia, but it's time. What main focus is just launch this branch. When they pick up, we're gonna extend.
Yes.
Extend.
Yeah.
Our aim is just to bring coffee, but we want to know the coffee first. Familiarize ourselves with the coffee.
Because coffee's in your genes
Yeah,
then,
it's
isn't
my
it?
gene. Yeah,
Really?
that's it.
You've literally grown up with it.
Yeah, I grew up with it.
Yeah.
we also source from, we don't sell them on our retail chain, but we also send it to businesses. So we have this really specialty called a pea berry coffee. So what's special about pea berry coffee is that it only happens in 4% of coffee beans. So what happens is like every coffee cherry has like 3 or 4 beans in it. So it's like that's what we actually take out and roast. So this pea berry, it only develops single seed in that. And this is actually an internal mutation that's naturally occurring in a coffee cherry. And that's called a pea berry coffee. So we only sell that to exclusive cafes. So it's like we are trying to bring that. Once we break out of the exclusivity deal with them, we are trying to bring that to the people as well.
I get that though, because there will be a cost attached to that because it's so rare.
Yeah.
So that does make perfect sense. And come back to whiskies again. You know, your 31-year-old whiskey is going to cost a lot more than your 5 years.
5-year whiskies.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. I mean, I know I've asked this question. Sorry, just jumping in there because with the coffee being a stimulant, are there health benefits? Because we do sometimes hear about coffee helping us lose weight and that kind of thing as well. Are there some health benefits from the coffee bean itself?
Yes, definitely. So when you drink, why do you think most of the Wall Street people are really what they call business sharks actually drink coffee? So coffee actually helps you focus and it sort of stimulates your mind in I don't know exactly, it's called adrenosol or something. So it's like, I'm not a neuroscientist, but then there is something like that that actually makes your brain more alert and focused on what you are doing. So it's like that's the reason most of the people who are addicted to caffeine usually drink that. And then the other thing, it is actually rich in antioxidants. So coffee is really rich source for antioxidants.
Yeah, gosh.
So it
helps you
beneficial to drink
exactly.
it.
If you see the coffee consuming people, so they have brighter and more healthy skin compared to others.
Well, there you go. It's not guilty pleasure anymore then.
Absolutely.
It's a healthy drink.
We're doing it for the skin.
I love it.
Yeah.
And what's both of your favourite coffee bean? What would you recommend, if you can recommend any above the others? And where can we learn more about you?
So, do you want to answer your
My favourite is Mountain. I
The
like
one we're
Chaslo.
drinking. Yeah, I
I
can
like
see why.
Espirito Santos Arabica, and this is a Robusta version of strong.
Okay.
That keep me awake.
Yeah.
So when I got something to do, it's very
Gives you pick you up kind of thing. Lovely. Thank you.
So personally, I like Cafe coffee. To be honest, until I started working for this company, I'm not a big fan of coffee. I never really liked coffee. But then Joseph actually showed me no, whatever you're drinking is not coffee. That's some instant I don't want to take that word on the show. But then let's just say
we can imagine.
It comes from the profanity, so I don't want to be let's just say it's something instant is not good. So he showed me taking your time to brew the coffee and mixing it with right amounts of milk is very thing. It completely changes your perception of what coffee is. So from my perspective, I thought coffee is not really good, but then after drinking that coffee, so my favorite is Cafe. I like really light coffees. So it's it's sweet and it's got floral notes on it. So it's very good.
So this is probably putting you on the spot. How do we make the perfect cup of coffee? How do we do that? How long do we brew? You can't pour boiling water straight onto it, that kind of thing. What do we do?
So our specialty is not exactly we don't do something super strong. So we only do the super strong versions for the B2B clients. But then what we sell is fairly strong. I wouldn't say strongest, but fairly strong. So when we are, again, it all depends on how you want your coffee. So it's my coffee taste is much different from Joseph. So it's it all depends on how you like your coffee. So it's for me, making my perfect cup of tea is having that, I don't press it too much. So it's in pressing the coffee, we have like 2 stages. So it's like I take the first delicate press, enjoying the very floral and like, mild flavor of coffee with lots of milk and cream, whole milk. I love it. And then I don't use sugar, but I use honey in my coffee.
Ooh,
yeah, I
that's
love
an
it.
idea.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm going to try that now.
Because
Yeah,
I'm on
me
sugar-free
too.
diet, I need to substitute that with like,
Okay.
something simpler, like, but then honey is really good. I use that
will try
honey.
that.
Yeah, me
Manuka
too. I've never.
honey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what you put in yours.
And
Yeah,
what about
Manuka
you?
honey.
Drink my coffee coffee with sugar, one sugar and milk. That's what I take on daily basis. Per day, I can have something, a 5 cup of coffee.
Wow.
Love it, love it. And where can we buy the beans from you? Where can we buy?
You can buy that online. If you we only sell that in UK, so it's like you can buy it online. So that's where we mostly do, and we sort of sell them to a couple of stores in Bedford itself in the local market.
All right.
And we got 2 local shops who represent our product. One in the town center and one at the Midland Road. Yeah.
Brilliant. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very
And
much.
for bringing such beautiful flavours to our set. That's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have all of your details in the show notes. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. A
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Our passion for coffee goes way beyond the cup. We believe in a fair production chain in which each coffee farmer plays an essential role. We are proud to support our communities and promote environmental sustainability. Bedford Coffee Roasters guarantees an exceptional experience for producers and consumers. Join us on our journey to extraordinary coffee, where quality, sustainability and fairness come together to create an experience unlike any other. Ground with passion, served with pride, Bedford Coffee Roasters, coffee worth drinking.
Well, that's been a very delicious show.
Very delicious. Yeah, it was great.
Really nice. And you can tell the difference.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So is coffee a guilty pleasure, like Krish was saying about his mum, which I think is adorable?
I know.
Or is it a secret single behaviour? You do it quietly by yourself.
I don't do the second one. I used to think it was a guilty pleasure because I was kind of under the impression that perhaps it's not that good for you. But actually, there's some real health
is.
benefit. If it's an antioxidant,
Yeah.
then it's going to, it's a healthy drink now. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. We have so much to want.
I won't feel guilt now.
I think that's the thing. For me, in a way, it is a bit of a secret single behaviour for me because I sometimes go and buy one from a drive-through or somewhere where I know it's a slightly nicer coffee than some of the other drive-throughs
Yes.
around, so more of an independent one.
Yeah.
And then I just drink it in my car, which is just quiet and it's on my own, and it's a moment.
You sort of savour it that
Yes.
way rather than drinking it without
You knock
thinking.
it back, yeah. And I sometimes leave it on top of the car as well. Have you ever done that? Oh, it's
Not yet.
And then you've also got the coffee shop, which is good for well-being because, okay, there's cakes there, but that's where people have book clubs and
Yeah.
they chat about things and they meet and they have well-being walks. I mean, that's something I've noticed as a new thing that I've seen a lot more of.
Yeah, it's actually been a dream of mine for a very long time to have that, exactly that.
Really?
Yes, to have a coffee shop and to have a little library there and for mums with preschool children to come and read, because just having the coffee aroma and there's something very comforting about being in a cafe,
That's
even if
the
you're
word.
working as well.
Comforting. That is absolutely the word, because you go in and you smell the coffee and it's lovely, it's warm.
It's welcoming and it's just a lovely environment to be in.
And the other thing is, and this one just comes from work that I've been doing recently with a client who feels quite isolated. And I said, just simply going out for a coffee, even if you're speaking to the person who's serving you, you're still making conversation.
Yeah.
That's really important, isn't it?
Really important. And I think I went to a local, it was a chain, it wasn't the main chains, but it was a chain at the weekend. And I took my dog because it's dog friendly. So it was just so lovely. And there were lots of people in there, all on their own as well. Yeah. But they were talking to each other in the queue or, at the next table, just making conversation. and loads of people came up to see my dog, you know, and I didn't know them. And I just think it is just that kind of environment where, it's
community.
Exactly.
It?
A real community, a real hub.
I love that. And then this is something I've noticed. It's not a recent trend, but recent enough. People are doing this thing called dawn dating. Now, what dawn dating is where instead of going for lunch or going for a movie, you're going for a coffee in the morning.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard of it before you.
I think it's
told
great
me about it. Yeah,
because I think lunch is a commitment and dinner's a bigger commitment. And what if you don't like them?
Exactly.
You know, it's sort of a bit like a coffee. It's casual. You might go after you've been to the gym, or it's just quite a nice thing to be able to do, I think.
I think it's a great idea. I'm not too sure why it hasn't always been done. Maybe it has always been done. I've just never heard of it.
I reckon it's actually because coffee shops weren't a thing before,
Okay.
but they are open now from 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I remember once I was doing a conference and I only had to be there for 9. But it was in central London, so I left really, really early. And I was so grateful that a coffee shop round the corner was open, and it opened at 6.
Oh, wow.
So even being there at 7, so I was really early, but being there at 7, I could sit in there for an hour and work on my talk. And it was, I'd never had that before.
No.
Because I just don't think they would have been there.
No, I think you're right. And so the
opportunities arrived.
So, what are they called? The morning date, the cafe, the morning dates?
Dawn dating.
Dawn dating,
Dawn dating. So if you've tried it, let us know.
Yeah.
But instead of our usual test the trend, we're kind of sticking with this idea of coffee shops because we held our own Weaving Words creative writing workshop, which had drinks, it had food, it had a lot of poetry. So let's take a look.
Start with a stream of consciousness, and for those that don't know me, I'm Kezzabelle and I'm a performance poet, but actually some of you may know my story at some point, and so I wrote my very first poem when I was 12 and a half, and the teacher put A+. Yes. And then she crossed out the A+ and put underneath, is this all your own work? I didn't believe I'd written it. And I didn't write another poem for over 30 years. So I just want to re-establish the power of words and how we use them. We can lift people, we can squish them. Anyway, so when I was about 47, I was going through some difficulties. My granddad was dying, my marriage was wobbly, all sorts of stuff was going on, and I wrote a poem, and it was so revealing that I hid it. And that is now in my book, Permission to Speak, because I found my voice.
So welcome back to the last part of Mental Health Matters After Hours with Judith and myself. There is a beauty about taking a moment to have a drink, have a hot drink, and just sit, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. It's there's an advert on television at the moment in the UK where somebody has a hot steaming mug of, you know, a nice hot drink, and they're sitting on their bonnet of their car just looking at the sea, and it just everything about it is idyllic. But I think any situation, if you add a hot drink to it, a hot cup of tea or a hot cup of coffee, it immediately it's calming.
Yes.
It's calming, and there must be something about that.
And I think also, for me, it's the act of holding a hot cup
as well. That can help.
That just feels really nice, even if you're drinking hot water.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Do you think we value breaks enough?
No. I never really take them, unless it's an enforced break, because it just happens in the day. But no, is the answer. I don't think so. I think that it's very difficult to stop and take a break unless you're forced to, or unless, you know, unless that's the culture of where you work, maybe.
And there is something in what Krish was saying about how his mum does it as a whole routine and ritual even. I think that's probably the word for it.
Yes.
And I've always known tea to be a ritual, but actually coffee can be as well, which I never really thought of until today.
No, me neither. It was just so lovely, wasn't it? She
Yeah.
comes in from work and that's her time.
Yes.
And she has exactly how she wants it.
It's that, isn't it? And it's about that cup of coffee being exactly how you want it. So it's a treat,
Yes.
and it's an individual treat, and it's unique to you.
Yeah.
And I just don't
exactly.
think chains can produce that.
No, I agree, exactly.
Oh, my goodness. Well, whatever you're doing to have a break, we do hope you have a good night.